What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and thanks so much for tuning in to what's going to be a chatty makeup tutorial using some new makeup products, using some old makeup products, and catching up, mostly about pregnancy, I think, because we are in the home stretch, like literally due just about a month from now. Very excited to talk about it. Let's get into it. All right, first things first, makeup. I can't explain it. Have been loving my Lorac Pro Soft Focus Longwear Foundation, but something, the thrill of the hunt, thrill of the chase, I don't know. Something compelled me to go back to an old favorite, the Dior Air Flash Spray Foundation. I used to, like back when this first came out, I used to use this all the time. Back when they only had, I want to say like 5 or 6 shades, and now they have a much broader shade range. Mine, by the way, is 3N, which I think it matches my neck and the rest of my body. I think you'll see it's not quite a perfect, well, it's not too bad for my face. I feel like once I layer bronzer over it, it gets to be like it's going to be a little bit too deep for me here in just a few short weeks and months, since we're going into fall and winter. But I used to love this foundation. Something compelled me to get back into it, buy it again, try it again, and I wanted to hate it. This is a product that I was like, surely there have been so many different and new foundations that have come out since then. I know I have already one that blows this one out of the water. I was thinking up so many reasons why, like this. You have a spray foundation that it works best when you spray it on your brush. Like, what's the point? Yeah, unfortunately, it's super nice. It's so thin. Part of why I loved my Lorac Pro Soft Focus foundation is because of how almost watery it is. Like, it spreads so evenly across the skin, and once it's down, it looks like second skin. This is like that, but even better. It's a satiny kind of finish, so you can see there's like subtle dewiness along the high points of my face, but not to the point where well, I guess I can't say right now because I am certainly drier than I have been in the past, but it doesn't, to the best that I can tell, develop excess shine throughout the day, and it's not so dry that it clings to my dry patches, which are generally everywhere on my face these days, but you know what I mean. And it's had me looking at products and brands that used to be either personal favorites of mine or like longtime cult classics like NARS Orgasm Blush or Benefit Their Real Mascara. Like going back to those products that I feel like right when I first started YouTube, maybe a year or two into it, which was 10 years ago, by the way. Crazy. But looking at those kinds of products that are still on the shelves to see if maybe there's a reason they're still on the shelves. Did I abandon a perfectly good product? And if so, why? Because my experience with this foundation just has me rethinking everything. The concealer I use, by the way, is totally new to me. It is, again, Dior, because I've never tried a Dior concealer. And when I got this, I was like, why not? There are so many reasons why not, but logic wasn't a priority when I made this purchase. This is the Dior Forever Skin Correct, and my shade is, what is it? 2N. This is what I feel like. I put that, you could see just in my under eyes, and I think there's a 2N in this foundation, and maybe that's what I should have gotten, but when I have the two on together, they really do seem like a great match, so who knows? Time will tell. Okay, I'm gonna pull you in for this one because I have a new brow product that TikTok / later YouTube made me buy. It is the Refi, there are no words on this, but it's the Refi, I think it's like Refi Brow Lamination. It's a clear, well, it has a white cast, but it's a clear brow product. I've used this once, and so I want to get a good close-up so you can give me your thoughts on this. Basically, I go in, I put a healthy amount in my brows, not so much that it leaves a white cast, really brush it through there. And then what I really like about this packaging design is that your wand is also your, that's not focusing, your brush. You have like a comb on one end and a brush on the other, and I think it really would have been beneficial for me to look at what either one is supposed to do if it's different, but I've just kind of been winging it so far. and I've really been liking it. And I also find I can't work with it too much with the combs and the brush, because as the product dries, it does start to kind of flake off on me. But if I leave it right here, right now, really liking the look of it. Okay, now let's talk about baby. So little man is measuring in perfectly average, which I am super stoked about. We just had our 33, 34, one of those check-ins where we did, got a sonogram and got to see his little face. He's, super, well, 4.5 pounds now, so bigger than he's ever been. And so got to see his face and his features in more detail than we ever have been able to, which was super surreal and very exciting and making me even more impatient to meet him. So we have about a month left. And I think I said this in the last update video I did, or maybe it's just been as I've talked about it throughout in favorites videos, things like that. But I am more impatient now than ever, not just because I feel like we have been kind of ready, not just in terms of things preparedness, like we have all the things we feel like we need to bring a baby home, but also we've been doing, reading and things like that, and now we're just like, we're ready. He can be here now. But now, for me personally, it's a comfort thing. I feel like I hit a pregnancy wall. It was very much smooth sailing in the second trimester. I expected my fatigue from the first trimester to come back, and it didn't, miraculously. Thank goodness. I'm super grateful about that. But now I'm just super uncomfortable. Not all the time, I should say. It's not fair for me to say, like, it's just the worst all the time. But waking up 4 to 5 times a night to have to pee, which now, after the most recent sonogram, and you see baby's head and you see your bladder and you're like, oh, that makes sense. But then inevitably the 5th time happens at around 3 to 4 a.m. and then insomnia kicks in and I don't get back to sleep until 7 a.m. and then it's like, what's even the point? That part is a little annoying, just because I know that my days of good quality sleep are numbered, and so I'm really trying to get as much sleep in as I can. Naps are invaluable. And then I mentioned this, I'm pretty sure in the other video, what I thought was round ligament pain, but last time I went to my doctor and mentioned what I was feeling. By the way, I'm today going to use my Scott Barnes pigment palette. It's this one with all of the gorgeous colors that I'm finding with this new organization in the back that I'm about to film a studio tour / makeup organization tour. With this new setup, I am getting into older palettes that just got lost in the back of drawers or buried under other palettes. It makes a world of difference being able to see everything that I actually have, and I'm enjoying what I have so much more. So this is what I'm using, and I'm gonna go in to, let's do New Fling, this kind of red one up here. And I'm putting that in the crease. I should have primed my eyes. I wonder if that's gonna stain my lid. Well, we will see. So I went to my doctor and I told him about what I thought were round ligament pain symptoms, and he said, normally round ligament pain is around the side of your hips and lower belly, and mine is tightness from my navel just all the way down, and it mostly happens when I am active, which these days consists of walking, and that's fine with me. But it makes it hard to know if I should kind of push through the walking, because normally when I go for longer multi-mile walks, if my bladder holds out. The other thing that gets me is that sort of stretching, achy pain in that situation, which is just its own thing. It's not round ligament pain, it's just another fun thing that you get to experience in pregnancy. And it really only happens when I'm active, or if I've been sitting or laying down for a long period of time and I stand up. No sudden movements. No sudden movements when you're pregnant. That's should be rule number 1 that they teach you in 3rd semester. I mean, we are learning, but 3rd trimester. What else? Nursery is almost put together and ready. The only thing we are waiting on is a rocking chair or glider / recliner. But we pretty much expected delivery to be delayed because everything has been so delayed when it comes to furniture and stuff like that. I'm just happy we have a crib and the changing table that wasn't supposed to be here until December, and it showed up August or early September. Super, super grateful for that, because I think it would have been a little anxiety inducing if I were feeling how I'm feeling now a month out, but without having a crib and a changing table assembled. So now it's really just been like kind of walking through day-to-day life, thinking about what it's going to be like with a baby, and then thinking about the things that'd be like, oh, it'd be nice to have that. Like I was washing pump parts and thought, oh, it'd be nice to have, like, I know they make, I'm sure you can use like any dish detergent, but I know they also make baby detergents to keep in the washing station. The rubber ducky for the bathtub, we got the bathtub, and it was like, oh, the one at the bottom, it changes color so you can see if the water's too hot or not. Like little things like that are starting to, the things that overwhelm me in the very beginning that I thought I would forget, like all those teeny tiny little details, those are now the things that I feel more on top of. Got the car seat installed. We still need to go get it checked. Gonna take a baby CPR class. Yeah, just kind of playing the waiting game now, and still kind of thinking through my maternity leave. I'm gonna go in and use this. It's called Feisty, by the way, in my outer corner. I'm self-employed, which puts me in a really unique and fortunate position, I think. I not only make YouTube videos, but I am a voice actor, primarily a voice actor. And on the one hand, it puts me in a position I never thought I'd be in, where I get to make my own maternity leave, set my own dates and what I want it to look like. And it's really awesome. On the other hand, I am thinking through like, it's not paid leave. And I'm not guaranteed a job when I come back. It's really up to me to make sure that my current clients, those that I do a lot of work with, are in a good place when I leave, and hope that they don't find somebody, if they need something urgently and I'm not there to take on a project, maybe they could find other voice talent that can give them what they need when they need it. And then, so much, I would say, depending on the day or the season, anywhere between 70 to 80% of what I do is auditions. I'll do, between like, again, depending on the season, 15 to 30 auditions a day. And so often I will not hear back on whether or not I booked those projects for, it's sometimes a few months. That's a rarity. I would say the lead time tends to be more like 2 weeks at a minimum to a month and a half. Projects just, sometimes they move slowly if they're super big, or, it's just a big company with a lot of moving parts. They're working with an agency. They need legal approval. Like there's so many things that change in the course of a script getting to me, and then getting on a video or wherever it needs to be, and then getting pushed out as the final product. So while I do think I'm going to say like no new auditions during the time of like the leave that I take, there's a little bit of apprehension that maybe something that I auditioned for, say now even, maybe I get one of those projects, and will they need a quick turn? What will that sort of time investment look like? And I've just been kind of running through all of those scenarios in my head, trying to understand how I can best achieve my goal of getting to enjoy my maternity leave, for what that leave looks like, for how long it will be, and then really getting to enjoy it and not feel like either I have to do work that I'm not physically or mentally able to do, want to do, because I'm busy being with my cute new baby. Or that, maybe there's a little bit of FOMO. I gotta be honest. Sometimes really irresistible auditions come in. They're like, maybe they're for a dream client or a dream role that I've always wanted to do. And I also am not sure I totally want to eliminate auditioning for those, because auditioning doesn't take a ton of time. It really, depending on how much audio the client wants, the nature of the audition, how much I might need to prepare, there's really not a ton of preparation that tends to go into it. So auditioning doesn't take a lot of time. But because of that, I feel like it could be kind of easy to get into a slippery slope of overwhelm or unknown emotions. It is so hard to know what it is going to be like, what our lives are going to be like with a brand new little guy roaming around here. Well, not roaming. He'll be a potato for like the early weeks and months, but you know what I mean. Okay, I might have to take back everything I said about this brow look, can you see the flaking? Can you see the flaking right here? I'm not sure how I feel about this. Yeah, I'm concerned I might have just worked it too much while it was past its drying process. This actually reminds me a lot of the Anastasia Beverly Hills clear brow thingy. Cannot remember the name of it to save my life. But I really don't reach for it. Despite really liking what it does for my brows, it did the same thing and inconsistently. Like I could never predict when it was going to lay flat versus when it was going to do this weird shedding, pilling thing. So, any tips are welcome in the comment section. That's really all I have to say about maternity leave. To the extent that any of you guys have experience with, more of a freelance style maternity leave, I would love to hear your thoughts, your tips, what worked for you, what didn't, down in the comments below. I've discovered it's kind of a, that's one thing when looking online, because I Googled seeing if there were other freelancers out there who had tips, is it's not, that's one part of the industry. And not just voiceover, but, working for yourself in general, like freelance, that there isn't a whole lot of transparency in. And I'm sure it's in part because, different industries work differently, different things work for different people. But yeah, it would be nice to just kind of hear other people's experiences and perspectives. Ooh, and the shadow that I just applied to the bulk of my lids has been this the gorgeous old money shade that I'm also going to run along my lower lash line. For the inner corner, I'm gonna go in with this promiscuous shade right there, which looks like a frosty gray, but has like lilac-y, it's like a silver with a lilac shift to it. For eyeliner, I'm going to go in with a product and a shade that I have been obsessed with. I have tried quite a few items, or currently trying, from Victoria Beckham Beauty. This is the Satin Kajal liner in the shade Bordeaux. And this blew me away. I'm trying almost everything from the collection, and this blew me away. Check this out. Look at this one swipe. Pigmentation. It is unbelievable. In the middle of me trying some of her products, she launched a cream stick blush that I figured, just to make sure I had like the latest and greatest from her, went ahead and purchased a shade. And while I did that, I also got this in navy because I was so impressed with how smooth and creamy and pigmented this is. It lasts on the waterline, and I have dry eyes. I don't really know how to explain it. I'd think that products like this would last on my waterline with dry eyes, but I don't know if they become irritated and I rub them, or something happens to where eyeliner just doesn't tend to stick on my waterline, but that stuff does. And then for the mascara, I'm going to use, again, the Victoria Beckham Future Lash, which I think I need to go read the product description because I think it might be waterproof or tubing maybe, because when it came time to take this off, it's very budge proof. I don't normally buy waterproof mascaras because I don't tend to have an issue with transfer or flaking or anything like that. There's only one kind of mascara available from Victoria Beckham Beauty, and I am pretty sure it is waterproof. Oh, and this too is a product that kind of knocked my socks off. I did not have high expectations for this because the wand, I'll be honest, seems a little anemic. Like I wasn't sure how much product this wand could pick up, really, what are we really talking about it dropping down on my lashes? But it does, because of that, takes a little bit more working with, but once you lay down 2 coats of this on your lashes, what a difference it makes, you know what I mean? And then to have it last all day, it's a pretty solid formula. There aren't a whole lot of other baby updates. We still haven't landed on a name. We're kind of between a few, and at this point have just decided that we kind of need to meet him to know who he is, like he's his own person. And what if we have, a name in our minds and we see him, we get to know him, and we find that he is not, in fact, that person that we thought he was. We just don't know. You know what I mean? Ooh, and my slip-on tennis shoes came in, and I'm very stoked about it. They're Kizik's, and I got a few different styles in a half size up and a full size up, just in case. The full size up is too big, so I'm contemplating returning them, but I also don't want to count my chickens before they hatch because we still got a month to go in this thing. And every time I mention this, without failing in the comments, multiple of you guys comment saying, my foot went up a whole half a size and it never changed. So I'm just gonna keep them just in case this isn't bloating. It really is my foot going up a whole size forever and always. They're very comfy. I'm very pleased with them. I've already taken them. They've now, one pair has actually become my walking shoes, which I will say they aren't as supportive as the actual athletic shoes that I had before. So they might not be the best, like if you're trying to walk 2 or 3 miles or whatever. I have noticed that, you know, my feet kind of hurt the next day. Like, they're definitely less supportive than what I was used to, but otherwise they are so comfy and so worth it for the bending down that I no longer have to do to get into them. Bending down and then just like shoving your foot into, oh, it was the most frustrating process. Very happy to have them. All right, zoomed out for the rest of the face. Let's power through this look. For bronzer, I'm going to use the Nabla Skin Bronzing Sun-Kissed Perfecting Bronzer Powder in Dune. I've been doing some work on this. I feel like it's because it's so layerable. It's hard to go overboard with this product, with this color on my skin tone. It really is just such a perfect, it's a match made in heaven. I really, really like this. I say this every time I use this. It can be used wet, apparently, and I still have I've been so pleased with the results dry, have not bothered to try dampening it. For blush, I have something new. I tried the Rose Ink whole line. It's not a massive line for now. I don't know if she plans to expand it, but it had some intriguing things to me, one of which was a cream blush, and you can actually buy the refills without getting the full compact, which I really, really liked, because you not only save space if you have freeform palettes that you prefer to use, but you also save money and packaging and all that kind of stuff. So, oh, and obviously they're replaceable, so to the extent that you do buy the full packaging and product and you run out, you can just buy the refills and you don't, you know, generate a whole bunch of new plastic packaging. Well, bulky plastic packaging, obviously. Also got the brush. This is the Rose Ink #2 brush. And some of the videos that I'd seen of this, these were very pigmented products. So I was kind of like, it's a very dense brush. But just with a kind of a light hand, I go in. I have also only used once, but so far very pleased with it. Have had better results with this blush than the eyebrow product that I am still struggling with right now. But I mean, look at that. Oh, this color, by the way, I got 2, but this one that I'm using is Heliotrope, and it's like a soft pinky, kind of an apricot, but still with pink in it shade. It actually complements the pink in my crease really well. And with cream blush, I do tend to go overboard a little bit because I find that my skin soaks it in, the pigment kind of disappears, but not so much with this. This is very much like what you see is what you get, and that's what stays on your cheeks. And I've really been liking it. You can see it has kind of a subtle glow there too. And now this is my Revlon Ultra HD Vinyl Lip Polish in the shade Birthday Suit. I literally just got up to get this from the collection back there, and I'm so out of breath. Birthday Suit, great shade from this Revlon collection. And that is what I'm using to finish off this look. But if you want to go watch another video, you can. Click that video right there. And thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this chatty video, getting to see some new products in action. I really like getting to share some baby updates with you. So thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.